ATMs, debit cards, and electronic fund transfers. Chapter 1. Automatic teller machines/ATMs. Automatic teller machines/ATMs. Automated teller machines, ATMs, use computer and electronic capabilities as a substitute for checks and other transactions. You can use them to bank at any time of the day or night to make direct deposits or withdrawals from your checking or savings accounts. Automatic teller machines, ATMs, are now entrenched into the culture. They take debit cards as well as credit cards. The debit cards allow withdrawals from one's account either over the counter in a retail store or from practically any ATM in the world. The personal account number, PAN, is on the front of the card. The personal identification number, PIN, is encoded on the magnetic stripe glued onto the back of the card. The PIN number is the cardholder's secret number such that if the card is lost or stolen, it cannot be used because you need to punch this secret number in before the card will authorize a cash withdrawal. The procedure is that the cardholder inserts the card into the ATM, punches his PIN number in whereupon the ATM scans the card and relays the information to a computer via telephone lines. If you have money in your account, your withdrawal is transacted. If you want to make a deposit, you can do that too. There are generally 5 avenues of security with an ATM card. The PIN number. 2 limits of cash withdrawals per day. 3 automatic card confiscation by the ATM under certain circumstances, such as 3 attempts at the PIN, card reported lost, etc. 4 photographs taken at most ATMs. 5 silent alarms when the ATM is tampered with. ATM cards can be defeated. Thieves can decode a PIN from a stolen ATM card by having a machine that is able to read the magnetic stripe. People who work at retail stores can use a little machine hidden under the counter to quickly swipe a credit card or ATM card, card reader or encoding machine available at electronics stores, when presented to them. This will give them the account number and PIN. With this information, they can make perfect clone cards. Bank employees and computer hackers can steal lists of PANs and PINs and make up bogus cards complete with the magnetic stripe. There have been cases of thieves from Eastern European countries going around North America, planting a little device to capture account information magnetically on an ATM, then planting a video camera nearby to be able to film the holder punching his PIN in. Another technique they use is that they spray the keyboard with some stuff such that after he leaves, they return to the ATM and can tell which number the customer just pressed, maybe not in order but they have 2 numbers and with 4 numbers, there are only 24 possible combinations. With 3 numbers, there are only 6 possible combinations. They loiter around the area for a few hours, watching the transactions, pretending they're talking on a cell phone or reading the paper, then they go get their device, clone this information and use it to steal money with fake ATM and credit cards. An ATM card is just a piece of plastic with a name and account number punched into it, but this is relatively meaningless. Everything that matters is on the magnetic stripe. Just clone that and glue it on. It's easy with an encoder machine. The magnetic stripe has the PAN number, the PIN number, and a check digit derived from the first 2 numbers, which is calculated using a simple formula that can usually be figured out. Most banks have a standard formula which is common knowledge over the internet. The physical layout of the ATM card is on 3 tracks. Track 1 contains your name and sometimes your account number. This is the track that is used when the ATM greets you by name. Track 2 is the main operational track. It holds the primary account number, PAN, the expiration date and the PIN or PIN offset, which is an encrypted form of the PIN. Track 3 is the offline ATM track. It contains such information as your daily limit, last access date, account number, and expiration date. When you make a deposit, the money usually doesn't go into your account until a teller verifies it the next day. PIN security is not as simple as the main computer with the central database matching up the PIN used at the ATM. Each place encrypts the PIN before its trip over the wires in order to avoid theft by anyone tapping into these lines. The cardholder sends his PIN, which is encrypted, travels to the database computer where it is deciphered and read. This is the big issue with internet security. Good hackers can decipher encrypted pins, but it's not that easy. There have been cases of people wheeling a new, official-looking ATM into a mall or at some other place where it worked and dispenses money, then a day or two later, they wheeled it away and started making clone cards of all the pans and pins they got. In some cases, they don't even have to return to the ATM. They can get all the account information remotely with a modem through the phone lines. Always take a good look at the ATM you're using to try to determine if it could be a phony. I only use ATMs physically attached to a bank. Getting into the ATM business could earn you some money, but if you do, put it in a secure place such that thieves can't just hook a winch up to it and drive it away. ATM cards info. ATM, automatic teller machine, cards are cheaper for banks to use than to use bank tellers and serve people personally. Beyond that, people make money off them when card holders use ATMs other than the ones affiliated with their banks via the surcharge. Consumers can do their banking without the assistance of a teller, pay bills, or transfer funds from one account to another electronically. ATM machines are used with an ATM card and a code, which is often called a personal identification number or PIN. Generally, the major banks are cutting down on the number of ATM they have out there, while private, non-bank machines with surcharges are increasing. Try to use an ATM from your own bank to avoid fees. There are generally 3 types of fees associated with ATMs. Regular transaction fees, 50 cents to $2. Major books should not charge you anything for a transaction fee, since the use of an ATM machine makes it easier for them. They need less bank tellers. Many private citizens start a business by setting up several ATMs in high-traffic areas that is tapped into the few major networks. They do the transaction for a fee paid for by the user. Network access fees or Interac fees, $1 to $2. The user is charged these fees to get access to his or her account when using an ATM not owned by his or her financial institution. Convenience fees, another fee of $1 to $5 slapped on by the ATM owner. It's your prerogative whether to use the machine and pay the fees or find an ATM that's part of your bank system. Some people might call it gouging, but the ATM owners say a sign comes up explaining the convenience fee, and it's your choice whether to proceed and pay the fee or not. With all 3 fees adding up, a transaction could easily cost $5 or more. If you think your card is safe if the thief doesn't know the PIN, in one system called the PIN key method, it's encoded in the magnetic stripe of the card, so any crook with an electronic reader of magnetic stripes available at some electronics stores can extract it out. Many convenience stores and gas stations have these readers to read customers' cards. They can even steal it by recording your transaction and decoding the blips they hear, which each represent a number according to the hertz of each particular tone. With your account number and PIN number, technological savvy crooks can clone fake copies of your card and use it until all the money is drained, which is why you should destroy all receipts you get after an ATM transaction. In the second system, the PIN is stored in a central database, so when you punch your PIN into the ATM card, it goes back to the database where it's compared to the PIN on file, and if it matches, you're in. If not, you can't get into the account. This is tougher for a thief to steal because it's not on the card, but there have been cases of thieves using telephoto lens cameras and positioning them in a store which they worked at which had an ATM card, or putting a fine dust on the keys which show smudges on the 4 numbers you picked, and from that, deduce the PIN by using the 24 possible combinations until they hit the right one, assuming all 4 numbers are different, no 2 are the same. Although some ATM machines have alarms on them, some don't, so some people steal the entire machines. Many ATM card number thefts are perpetrated by either bank employees or the people who work on the ATM machines themselves. I have seen a few books around at number 332 at the library about electronic fund transfer systems/Fs that dealt extensively with how ATM cards work and the security measures behind them. Unauthorized ATM card use. The big disadvantage of ATM cards for the consumer is that if a thief gets a hold of it, unlike credit cards where your liability is only $50, then it becomes the responsibility of the credit card company. Your liability is whatever you have in your account unless you realize it's lost and report it quickly, so a thief could conceivably drain your entire account. If you report an ATM card missing before it is used without your permission, the EFTA says the card issuer cannot hold you responsible for any unauthorized withdrawals. If unauthorized use occurs before you report it, the amount you can be held responsible for depends upon how quickly you report the loss to the card issuer. If any unauthorized transactions appear on your bank statement, report them to the card issuer as soon as you can. The rule generally works like this. If you report your ATM card missing or stolen within 2 days after it was stolen, you're liable for no more than $50 of unauthorized charges. If you report it missing or stolen between 2 to 60 days after it's gone, you're liable for up to $500 of unauthorized charges. If you don't report it until after 60 days, you will probably be responsible for all unauthorized charges. I've read recent reports that said that Visa and MasterCard will limit your liability to $50 regardless of how longer after a theft you report it. The best protections against card fraud, of course, are to know where your cards are at all times and to keep them secure. For ATM card protection, it is important to keep your personal identification number, PIN, a secret. Memorize this number. Statistics show that in 1/3 of ATM card frauds, cardholders wrote their PINs on their ATM cards or on slips of paper they kept with their cards. Be cautious about disclosing your account number over the phone unless you know you are dealing with a reputable company. Never put your account number on the outside of an envelope or on a postcard. Draw a line through blank spaces on charge slips above the total so the amount cannot be changed. Do not sign a blank charge slip unless absolutely necessary. Rip up carbons from the charge slip and save your receipts to check against your monthly billing statements. Open billing statements promptly and compare them with your receipts. If there are any mistakes or differences, report them as soon as possible to the special address listed on the billing statement for billing inquiries. Under the FSPA, the card issuer must investigate billing errors if you report them within 60 days of the date your card issuer mailed you the statement. Keep in a safe place, away from where you keep your cards, a record of your card numbers, expiration dates, and the telephone numbers of each credit card company for the emergency of reporting losses. Carry only those cards that you regularly need, especially when traveling. For ATM cards, select a PIN, personal identification number, that is different from other numbers noted in your wallet, such as your address, birth date, phone, or social security number. Memorize your PIN. ATM fraud websites. Consumer Information Center. Pueblo, Colorado 81009. 888-8 Pueblo. Publications.usa.gov. Type these into the search icon. ATM card. Debit card. Prepaid card. Federal Trade Commission. Washington, D.C. 20580. FTC.gov. consumer.ftc.gov/articles/lost-stolen-credit-ATM-and-debit-cards. 3 free booklets, Credit and Charge Card Fraud, Fair Credit Billing and Credit Billing Blues. ATM locations. Mastercard.com/cardholderservices/ATM. Visa.via.infonow.net/locator/global, Visa ATM locator. Mastercard.com/ATM locator/index.jsp. Star.via.infonow.net/loc, star ATM. Debit.discovernetwork.com/cal/search.do. Star.com. Visa.com/ATMs. ATMsurcharges.com, ATM machines without surcharges. co-opnetwork/public/find_ATM/index.cfm, credit unions and cooperatives. co-opfs.org/public/locators/ATM locator. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/co-op_financial_services, ATMs of credit unions. jabbi.org, free ATM finder. moneypage.com. netedge.com. pocketcard.com. star.info.now.net/bin/findnow/client_ID =$*. star-system.com surcharge-free-atms.com visa.com/atms visa.com/pd/atm/main.html American Express 800 cash now 336-393-1111 call collect from outside the United States maps.americanexpress.com exp.com/express-mq interconnect ? Link =home americanexpress.com exp.com/banking americanexpress.com exp.com/travel 888-356-1006 ATM cards with free access to many ATMs mastercard.com/atm cirrus.com Cirrus ATM Network 800-424-7787 They can tell you where ATM machines are worldwide. Plus ATM Network 800-843-7587 Visa.com/ATMs Wingspanbank.com 888-736-8611 ATM cards with free access to many ATMs. Chapter 2 Debit Card Info Debit Card Info The major credit card issuers offer debit cards which can be used at stores just like a credit card, but instead of borrowing the money like you do with a credit card, it comes directly out of your bank account or it's prepaid. Money is taken out of the consumer's account and put into the merchant's account electronically. It's an enhanced ATM card that you can use at stores worldwide. The big difference with credit cards is liability. With credit cards, your liability is zero. With debit cards, it's $50 if reported within 2 days of loss or theft. $500 if reported 3 to 60 days after loss or theft. Possibly all of it if you report it after 60 days. Debit cards are bad deals firstly because somebody could steal your card and run your account dry, whereas with an ATM or credit card, you're generally only liable for $50. Secondly, debit cards have all kinds of hidden fees like ATM fees, a bounced check fee if you go over the amount of money in your account, a fee if the store vendor mistakenly debits your card too much and you have to get it straightened out. Also, it's a big headache to get your account credited when you return merchandise, plus the fact that hotels and car rentals often debit your account several $100 while you're using their product without telling you they're doing this, in which case you could easily get charged NSF fees for purchases you make because they quietly temporarily drained your account. If you allow automatic deposit into your account such as with paychecks, pensions, etc., two bad things could possibly happen. They could miss a payment or deposit less than you should get, such that unless you're vigilant, it could slip past you or it could be a major hassle to straighten it out. When you give someone the right to deposit money into your account, in many cases, you're unwittingly giving them permission to withdraw money too. If Company X decides you owe them money, they can easily withdraw it and let you take your chances trying to sue them, or an unscrupulous employee could try scheming, quietly skim a few dollars off every check, or outright rip-offs. Don't write checks before the money is in your account and think the money will be deposited in time. Deposit the money first, then write your check afterwards. Post-dating checks for the future doesn't work. The only people obligated by federal law to wait until the posted date to cash them are collection agencies. Everyone else deposits them and thinks the bank will wait until the date on the check, but they won't. They plow them through using automation machines. If you get a NSF check this way, some banks will say tough, the money wasn't in the account when the check was cashed. Others will reimburse the NSF fee only after you hassle them. It's not impossible but difficult to get a free checking account without having to keep a minimum balance. In many cases, this minimum balance rule applies if you go below it just one time during the month for a day or so and they sock you with the $10 monthly fee. The way to avoid this is to always keep the minimum balance plus enough money in your account to ensure all checks never take you below the minimum balance. There are free, No minimum balance checking accounts out there though, usually at smaller banks who want your business. Beware that unscrupulous bank managers, even though operating legally, like to hold the funds from deposited checks, especially for large amounts, for a few extra days because they get interest on the money plus they might get an NSF fee out of the deal. If the customer protests, they point to the policy hanging on the wall in the lobby which states they have 5 business days to clear a domestic check. As far as I know, federal law states that ATM deposits must be credited within 2 business days, so your best bet is always an ATM deposit over a bank teller deposit for quick credit. Save all bank receipts until you get the monthly or quarterly statement to verify your transactions. Banks make mistakes. When you get your statement, read the instructions on the back of it at least one time in your life, then go over your statement. If you see charges you don't understand, by all means, contact the bank to ask what the charge was for, then you can learn to save money for next time. The time to not pay attention is not when you're dealing with the teller. After she counts out the money, take it and quickly count it yourself right there. When I was young and naive, I never paid attention while the teller counted my money because I assumed they were honest. I wanted a withdrawal of $350 but only got $250. I got all the way home before I realized the pack of $20s was thin and counted it, so I immediately went back to the bank, whereupon she closed her till and I waited until she counted the take to come up $100 over, but she could have screwed me and I would have no recourse, or I could have let it slip without counting the money and would have lost $100. Tellers make mistakes. Also, quickly look at whatever receipt you get whenever at a teller's window to see if the transaction is correct. Use cheap, no-frills checks that you buy from mail-order check companies rather than the bank itself. Watch your account number with debit cards just like with credit cards. People can use the number to order merchandise by mail order. creditcards2u.info/visa-payroll-card.html. debitfreedom.com. debitman.com. debit-card-verification.com. Report lost or stolen cards. americanexpress.com, aexp.com. 800-528-4800. dinersclub.com. 800-234-6377. 800-363-3333. Canada. Discover.com. 800-347-2683. Mastercard.com. 800-307-7309. 800-826-2181. Visa.com. 800-847-2911. 800-336-8472. Prepaid debit cards. Prepaid debit cards work good for travel. You pay X amount of money up front, then use it like a credit card. This way you don't have a lot of money in it that somebody could conceivably steal. If you run out of money on it, call your relative up at home and they will put some money into it. It beats wiring money for a fee. creditcards.com/how-do-prepaid-debit-cards-differ.php. cash2go.com. visa.com/personal/cards/visa_travel_money.html. acecashexpress.com/pink-prepaid-debit-card.aspx. rushcard.com. theapprovedcard.com. pocketcard.com. Smart card technology. A smart card is simply a card like a prepaid credit card that you can buy for a certain amount of money, like $100, and use like a credit card. Then when it gets low, you either buy more credit value on it or throw it away and buy another one. There are new technologies for money transfer. Investigate the following. SIA.org, Smart Card Industry Association. smartcardtechnology.com. Innovonics.com. Interac.org. iriscan.org. mondex.com. slb.com. trueface.com. usa.visa.com/personal/icard/visas/martapply. utmsystems.com. getsmartcard.com. 800-263-6682. Card with Smart Chip. Chapter 3. Electronic Fund Transfer System/EFTS. Electronic Fund Transfers. These days, the cost of moving paper checks through the banking system is estimated to be approximately 80 cents per check, including the costs of paper, printing, and mailing. Moreover, checks, except your own check presented at your own bank, take time to cash, time for delivery, endorsement, presentation to another person's bank, and winding through various stations in the check clearing system. There are quicker ways to transfer money than the standard paper check. Check with your bank about electronic deposits and try to get your major customers to pay by one of these methods, either automatic transfer from their account to yours or a phone call/website/email/fax/credit card/debit card transfer, and the deed is done. Technology now can lower the costs of the payment mechanism and make it more efficient and convenient by reducing paperwork, even though the potential for fraud is much greater. The national payment mechanism moves money between accounts in a fast, paperless way. An examples of an EFT system in operation is telephone transfers. Consumers can transfer funds from one account to another, from savings to checking, for example, or can order payment of specific bills by phone. Different banks offer different electronic fund transfer systems/EFT services. You have to check around your local area and maybe your local chamber of commerce to learn about EFT services in your area. The modern ways corporations use to transfer money are automated clearinghouses/ACH, clearinghouse interbank payment system/CHIPS, electronic fund transfer system/EFTS, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications/SWIFT. Ask about what methods they use at your business bank and use them. Electronic Data Interchange/EDI is a system whereby corporations can directly exchange billing information with each other via computers. The Electronic Fund Transfer Act/EFTA. The Electronic Fund Transfer Act gives consumers answers to several basic questions about using EFT services. A check is a piece of paper with information that authorizes a bank to withdraw a certain amount of money from one person's account and pay that amount to another person. A cancelled check is permanent proof that a payment has been made. Is proof of payment available with EFT services? The answer is yes. If you use an ATM to withdraw money or make deposits, or a point-of-sale terminal to pay for a purchase, you can get a written receipt much like the sales receipt you get with a cash purchase, showing the amount of the transfer, the date it was made, and other information. This receipt is your record of transfers initiated at an electronic terminal. Your periodic bank statement must also show all electronic transfers to and from your account, including those made with debit cards, by a pre-authorized arrangement or under a telephone transfer plan. It will also name the party to whom payment has been made and show any fees for EFT services, or the total amount charged for account maintenance, and your opening and closing balances. Your monthly statement is proof of payment to another person, your record for tax or other purposes, and your way of checking and reconciling EFT transactions with your bank balance. The way to report errors is somewhat different with EFT services than it is with credit cards, but, as with credit cards, financial institutions must investigate and correct promptly any EFT errors you report. If you believe there has been an error in an electronic fund transfer relating to your account, 1. Write or call your financial institution immediately if possible, but no later than 60 days from the date the first statement that you think shows an error was mailed to you. Give your name and account number and explain why you believe there is an error, what kind of error, and the dollar amount and date in question. If you call, you may be asked to send this information in writing within 10 business days. 2. The financial institution must promptly investigate an error and resolve it within 45 days, however, if the financial institution takes longer than 10 business days to complete its investigation, generally it must put back into your account the amount in question while it finishes the investigation. The time periods are longer for POS debit card transactions and for any EFT transaction initiated outside the United States. In the meantime, you will have full use of the funds in question. 3. The financial institution must notify you of the results of its investigation. If there was an error, the institution must correct it promptly, for example, by making a recredit final. If it finds no error, the financial institution must explain in writing why it believes no error occurred and let you know that it has deducted any amount recredited during the investigation. You may ask for copies of documents relied on in the investigation. It's important to be aware of the potential risk in using an EFT card, which differs from the risk on a credit card. On lost or stolen credit cards, your loss is limited to $50 per card. On an EFT card, your liability for an unauthorized withdrawal can vary. Your loss is limited to $50 if you notify the financial institution within 2 business days after learning of loss or theft of your card or code. You could lose as much as $500 if you do not tell the card issuer within 2 business days after learning of the loss or theft. If you do not report an unauthorized transfer that appears on your statement within 60 days after the statement is mailed to you, you risk unlimited loss on transfers made after the 60-day period. That means you could lose all the money in your account plus your maximum overdraft line of credit. A financial institution may send you an EFT card that is valid for use only if you ask for one or to replace or renew an expiring card. The financial institution must also give you the following information about your rights and responsibilities. A notice of your liability in case the card is lost or stolen. A telephone number for reporting loss or theft of the card or an unauthorized transfer. A description of its error resolution procedures. The kinds of electronic fund transfers you may make and any limits on the frequency or dollar amounts of such transfers. Any charge by the institution for using EFT services. Your right to receive records of electronic fund transfers. How to stop payment of a pre-authorized transfer. The financial institution's liability to you for any failure to make or to stop transfers, and the conditions under which a financial institution will give information to third parties about your account. Generally, you must also get advance notice of any change in the account that would increase your costs or liability or limit transfers. A financial institution may send you a card you did not request only if the card is not valid for use. An unsolicited card can be validated only at your request and only after the institution makes sure that you are the person whose name is on the card. It must also be sent with instructions on how to dispose of an unwanted card. The EFT Act forbids a creditor from requiring you to repay a loan or other credit by EFT, except in the case of overdraft checking plans and, although your employer or a government agency can require you to receive your salary or a government benefit by electronic transfer, you have the right to choose the financial institution that will receive your funds. EFT's security. A computer hacker transferred $10 million from an American bank to his personal bank accounts in several European countries. Banks are trying to crack down on this kind of stuff, but the scammers are good at finding ways around it. The traditional method of electronic wire transfer system security is based on test keys and test codes. This is still being used but is gradually being phased out in favor of more advanced security features. The way it works is that the sender encrypts the information before it is sent over the wires encrypted then deciphered when it gets to the destination, usually the main computer database. The key to these secured transmissions is the code that precedes the message. If a hacker knows how to decipher the code number, he can send as much money as he wants to any bank account in the world that uses this type of transfer system, which are most of the world's banks and financial institutions. To prepare the code number for sending over a cable, the sender, bank employee, uses a code book at the bank in which certain items of information have numerical values. This coded information is sent to its destination, often another bank where an employee there uses the code book to decipher the transaction values. Specific numerical codes are assigned for the city and country in which every bank is located. There are codes for the kind of currency involved in the transfer, such as Japanese yen, British pound, Dutch lieuwilders, French francs, USA dollars, Mexican pesos, etc. A code number is also set for the date and total amount of the money that is involved in the electronic transfer. A technology known as Message Authentication Code, MAC, is now used to try and prevent electronic theft of funds by transfer. The MAC system uses data encryption to generate a message authentication code that is sent with the transfer message. It generates a master key code, which is then encrypted and sent to another MAC device. The codes change every day. The key never appears decrypted anywhere outside of the MAC devices. This is similar to pretty good privacy or PGP technology used for internet transactions. Hackers attempt to break into banks electronically to get these codes, then use them to transfer money around to other banks where they can withdraw it quickly before getting caught. One of their approaches is to randomly generate millions and millions of combinations of numbers and letters hoping to break the code. Pre-authorized plans. This is a method of automatically depositing to or withdrawing funds from an individual's account when the account holder authorizes the bank or a third party, such as an employer, to do so. For example, consumers can authorize direct electronic deposit of wages, Social Security, or dividend payments to their accounts, or they can authorize financial institutions to make regular, ongoing payments of insurance, mortgage, utility, or other bills. There are various ways you may be notified of the transfer. Notice may be given by your employer, or whoever is sending the funds, that the deposit has been sent to your financial institution. Otherwise, a financial institution may provide notice when it has received the credit or will send you a notice only when it has not received the funds. Financial institutions also have the option of giving you a telephone number you can call to check on a pre-authorized credit. You may stop any pre-authorized payment by calling or writing the financial institution so that your order is received at least 3 business days before the payment date. Written confirmation of a telephone notice to stop payment may be required. You have the right to be notified of all varying payments at least 10 days in advance, or you may choose to specify a range of amounts and to be told only when a transfer falls outside that range. You may also choose to be told only when a transfer differs by a certain amount from the previous payment to the same company. EFT Act protections do not apply to all pre-authorized plans. They do not apply to automatic transfers from your account to the institution that holds your account or vice versa. For example, they do not apply to automatic payments made on a mortgage held by the financial institution where you have your EFT account. The EFT Act also does not apply to automatic transfers among your accounts at one financial institution. Electronic Fund Transfer Resources. Books about EFTs are at number 332.1028 or HG1710 at the library. CHI-CASH-ADVANCE.com. Digicash.com. EFTPOS.co.nz, alternative to credit cards, electronic funds transfer at point of sale. eTransfer.com, 800-338-2435, EFT Corp. Geopie.com, 800-351-1239. InTouch EDI Software. Harbinger EI Services. 1800 Century Place. Number 340. Atlanta, Georgia 30345. 404-320-1636. National Automated Clearinghouse Association. 607 Herndon Parkway. Number 200. Herndon, Virginia 22070. 703-742-9090. Fax, 703-787-0996. National Corporate Cash Management Association. 52 Church Hill Road. Newtown, Connecticut 06470. 203-426-3007. Some companies are: Beacon Financial Group, Inc., 1501 Commerce Avenue, Carlis, Pennsylvania 17013. 717-249 8800. 800 do Debit. info@bfgi.com. bfgi.com. Chi Cash Advance. 325 South Highland Avenue, Briarcliff Manor, New York 10510. 212-862-0500. 888 G0500 914-923-0500 CHI-CASH-ADVANCE.com EFT Corporation 2911 Dixwell Avenue Hamden, Connecticut 06518 800-338-2435 EFT at eTransfer.com eTransfer.com Finit, Financial Electronic Transfer, Inc. 500 West Lincoln Trail Box 998 Radcliffe, KY 40159098 800-360-2218 270-351-2165 Geopie.com Payment Solutions POB 30217 Bethesda, Maryland 20824 301-996-1062